Hi guys, welcome to Loggery. I hope all of you are doing fine and the prep is going good. If you want to hear this video in Hindi, अगर आप ये वीडियो हिंदी में सुनना चाहते हैं तो नीचे दिए गए लिंक पर क्लिक करें. If you want to hear this video in English, then please keep on watching. Hope you have subscribed to Loggery YouTube channel and have watched the previous videos. The link to all the videos can be found in the description box below. Today I'm going to tell you about the best, easy and time-saving ways to prepare for vocabulary. Let's see what is the agenda of today's video. We are going to talk about degree or level of words on the basis of which you are going to be tested, type of questions based on vocabulary. Is vocabulary important to crack any law entrance exam? Things that are a big no. Simple, easy and effective ways to improve vocabulary. How to memorize words. And we're going to talk about the books that can help you in improving your vocabulary. We're also going to talk about some strategies that should be applied while you're solving questions related to vocabulary or English as a section. Let's get into the video. Level or degree of words in law entrance exam. Check out the last year papers of Clat. Now for you guys, I have made it a bit easier. I went through the last year papers of Clat and other important 5-year and 3-year law entrance exams. And I was able to arrive at one conclusion, that the words on the basis of which they test you are words which are picked from journalistic sources like newspapers, magazines, books, etc. Right, so the words that I found have been put up before in the law entrance exams are prudence, benevolence, loquacious, germinate, receptive, nurturing. Now these are the words that you might have heard of. Many of you would know the meaning of these words. Many of you must have just heard the word. Many of you have an idea that this might be the meaning of this word. So basically these are those words which can be easily found in the written sources. So basically the source is journalistic sources. Okay. Now what are the type of questions when it comes to vocabulary? You can be asked the meaning of the word, correct spellings, filling the blanks with appropriate word, wherein you have to know the meaning, otherwise you won't be able to attempt the questions. Antonyms, that is the opposite, right? These are the type of questions. There are various others, but normally these are the questions. Now, you might be thinking why vocabulary is important. Because vocabulary is something that you have to build. It is a step-by-step process. It is not like one fine day you sit down, give 3 to 4 hours to this topic and you're done. No, you have to sit down every day, at least 4 to 5 times a week, work on it, and then only you can expect that you will be able to have a good vocabulary by the end of the time, by the end of your preparation, by the end of the time when you have to give your exam. Right now, why it is important? 2 types of questions are there when it comes to vocabulary. One are direct questions. Now if you see the exam of NLU Delhi, if you see the exam of Symbiosis, if you see even DU and PU, Punjab universities or Delhi universities 3-year law exams, you see there's so many direct questions when it comes to vocabulary. The direct questions are like meaning, telling the meaning, fill-ups and stuff like that we have talked about in the previous slide. Now indirect questions are, if you are appearing for Clat, if you are preparing for Clat, then this is very important, because in Clat now the syllabus has changed, which I know all of you must have seen, that the pattern has changed and now every section has a passage. Every section has a passage. There are numerous passages that you're going to read, and these passages, they are saying most of them would be picked up from newspapers, magazines, books. So now you don't only have to attempt your English section wherein you have a passage, you have passage in every section, right? So there can be questions wherein if you know the meaning of the word, you are able to answer that question. You are not directly, they have not asked you the meaning of that word, but if you know the meaning of one of the words, then it is easier for you to answer. It also increases the speed to solve other sections. So if you are appearing for Clat, if you want to crack Clat, then this is the most important thing. Even if you are saying that I want to get into NLU Delhi, that is a 5-year law course, then also you have around 10 to 15 direct questions which come from vocabulary, and 10 to 15 direct questions are a lot. You cannot ignore them. So let's move on to the next slide. We're going to talk about the don'ts, the things that you should not do. Learning word lists in alphabetical order. Now this is very common. Most of you might even have tried this. That is mugging up or learning the word list which is in alphabetical order provided by coaching institutes or in compiled books like that of Universal and Nexus. Now you might be thinking why you should not learn the word list, because ultimately you will give up, because you'll see there's no result. You won't be able to learn many words like this. So don't even try doing that. Now the next thing is, there might be a lot of people who will tell you that start reading novels or books. Now most of you who are going to appear for 5-year law entrance exam or 3-year law entrance exam are studying. Now if you are appearing for 3-year law entrance exam and you're working, then you can or you might read novels. But if you are a 5-year law candidate, then you are also appearing for your 12th exams. You have so much to do. So you should not go for reading novels and books in methods which are going to save time, not which are going to waste time, and practical methods. Now reading a novel obviously is a good idea to improve your vocabulary, but it will take time. If you are not into reading novels and you start reading novels just to prepare for vocabulary, it is going to take time. So it is not a practical method, it is not a smart study method, and it is not a time-saving method. The thing we are going to talk about is ways to improve vocabulary. Now the first thing is reading newspaper. How to read newspaper? Whenever you come across a word which is new while reading newspaper, mark it. Step 2 is guess the meaning and continue reading the newspaper. Now note down this. Why I'm saying to continue reading the newspaper is because if you leave the newspaper and start finding the words, you will leave the agenda there only. The first agenda of reading the newspaper is to cull out the important journal knowledge or current affair things which are there in the newspaper. Now while reading the newspaper, you will every day come across new words. Mark it with a red pen or whatever, or with a pencil. Mark it and guess the meaning of the word. After reading 2 lines before and after the word, guess the meaning and just move on and keep on reading the newspaper. When you're done with the newspaper, find out the meaning of these words from the dictionary. Now tip here is, there should be at least 5 to 10 words. There would be. If you're reading the newspaper extensively, you will easily find these words. And also when you read newspaper, you will be able to remember the words which you have already marked and of which you have seen the meaning. So that also you can guess that this is the meaning. So you can check if you remember the words or not. Step 4, note down these words in diary. Right. Now how to memorize the words? Try to relate the word to some place, person, thing, or anything funny. Now obviously on day-to-day basis you have to learn so many words. You cannot just learn the meanings directly. It would be difficult for you. So it is easier to relate the word to a place, person, thing, or anything funny. For example, I remember when I was preparing for law entrance and I had to remember the word loquacious. And I related it to myself, that I am very talkative, so loquacious. And you can relate it to anything, something which is very beautiful. You can relate it to Taj Mahal. Something funny, if there's some fun, internal joke of the family or something, you relate it to that. So that is how you can learn. Now as I told you that you should guess the meaning. Now whatever guess you made, it could be a funny guess, it is not related at all to the meaning, or it is very close. Whatever it is, try to relate it to the guess so that again you can keep it in your mind. You are able to remember it. Also when you are able to you pick up the word from the newspaper, you also try to remember that news wherein it is used. Maybe you are able to relate that word to that particular news that is there. Try using the word when you speak, write, or chat. Yeah, that you can do when you chat with someone, when you speak with someone, you can, or you write something, then you can obviously try to use those words. Review the words every week. On every Sunday for good 1 hour, sit down and go through the words that you've noted. Try to answer the words. Ask someone to call out the words and you say the meaning, or keep a hand and try to guess the words. So 30 minutes every day to vocabulary is what is required if you want to build your vocabulary and if you are really weak in vocabulary. Remember, it's consistency which is going to pay. Yeah? You need to be really consistent. It is not that once in a month you sit down and learn 50 words. That's of no use. You have to sit down every day. Or how to make vocab notes. This is one of the things which I've been asked a lot of times. Firstly, note the exact meaning of the word. Firstly, note down the word obviously, then the exact meaning of the word, and then try to make a sentence by using the word, whatever your understanding is. Right? Don't copy it from the dictionary. That is what I would say. Try to make a sentence by using your own wisdom, by using your own understanding. Then which form of speech it is. It is a noun. What it is, adjective. What it is, verb. Right? So form of speech is very important, because if you see the last year papers of NLU, Delhi, AILET, or even other law entrance exams, you'll see there are 4 to 5 questions wherein they have asked form of speech. That is, by giving a sentence, there is a word, they mark the word and they tell you that which is the form of speech in of this word. So yeah, that is what you need to know. Mnemonics are relating the word to something to easily memorize it, right? That is what I told, that you have to relate the word associate it in a funny manner so that you are able to remember the word, right? Now, recommended books, obviously Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis is the book which everyone recommends. Now this is a very fat book. Now you should go for this book only and only if you have good 2 to 3 months. If you have just 1 month for the exam and you're sitting down for improving your vocabulary, picking up this book is not a good idea, because you have to take care of all the subjects, and only vocabulary, studying vocabulary is not a good idea, obviously. But yeah, if only you think that vocabulary is left and everything else is done, then it can be done. But yeah, if you have good 5 to 6 months, then go for this book. This book is divided into various sessions. It is like every day you have to go through this book and they tell you about the roots, prefix and stuff like that. So you get to know a lot about the words and they tell you ideas to remember the word. So this is a good book. Even I have gone through this book. Now, 30 Days to More Powerful Vocab, again by Norman Lewis. If you think you are weak at it and you really have to work on it, then you can go for the smaller version of Word Power Made Easy. And then there is Oxford's Learner's Pocket Word Skill. This strategies to solve questions. The first thing is reading the question properly. When it comes to your any law entrance exam, if for that matter any competitive entrance exam, make sure that you read the question properly, what the examiner is asking. Sometimes the examiner is just testing you on this. The question might be very, very easy and you just hop and answer. But they might have asked the most inappropriate word to be filled up, right? It could be anything, appropriate, inappropriate. So you should read the question very nicely. If meaning is asked in the context of passage, then read the lines before and after the word carefully. Now on this, I want to give you one example. In your Clat sample paper, there is one word from the passage of which they have asked the meaning. That is alien. Right, the passage is related to bats and humans, and in the context of passage they have asked the meaning of the word alien. Now normally alien is someone who's not from the country or someone from another planet. That is what is the vague guess that you will make, or the exact guess also, and you will be like, okay, you're asking me the meaning of alien means someone from outside the country, not from the country, and you put a tick. But they've asked it in context of the passage, so you need to read the line before and after and then answer the question. So be careful, right? Read all the options, don't jump to the answer. Yeah, if there are 4 options or more than 4 also, then normally 4 options, go through all the options. I hope this video is helpful to you. If it is, then don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Loggery YouTube channel, because we are coming up with really good content which is going to help you in preparing for law entrance exams. And especially if you are into self-study and you have not joined anything, then these videos are going to be really, really helpful to you. If you have any query, you can leave a comment down below. We would love to answer. You can also follow us on I am Loggery on Instagram, and you can DM, wherein the instructor is available for some time, wherein he or she answers your questions. Best of luck, prepare well, and take care.